Happy Friday. I hope everyone had a great week. It's time to wrap up this week and move on to the weekend, but not before we go over some important planning information that I hope will make a difference in your financial lives, if not your lives in general. Today is July 28th, 2023, and this is your Friday planning video. Today I want to hit on a couple of timely items, then revisit some old favorites while adding some new updates. First, it's almost August. I can smell the new shoes and notebooks as everyone is starting to take those last trips before school starts again and get packed to send the older ones away and even hit the school supply aisle at your local retailer. Let's talk about the financial plan that goes along with all this and other timely August items to be ready for. Like I said, the idea of school is one that makes even the best of us shudder at the cost of private school if you're in those, and if many of you are, and if not, the upcoming college costs are creeping into your thoughts. So planning for education expenses is one summertime favorite. First, as I like to tell tales from the front line, I had a conversation last week with someone who wanted to know about using the 529 Education Savings Plan here in Illinois for private school tuition K through 12. As you may recall, in 2017, when the new law passed that extended the 529 benefits to K through 12, there were about a dozen states that declined this federal law. Illinois was one of them, and as of April of this year, the others were California, Colorado, Hawaii, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, New York, Oregon, and Vermont. These 529 plans may still fit your need, but please be careful if you're in those states and you're thinking about using those to plan for K through 12. Regardless, it's a good time as the kids and the young adults dust off the backpacks. Let's talk about possible benefits of these plans or other ways to save for education. From school to medical, get ready for open enrollment, either workplace or Medicare. It's about time for this, and as usual, it will come on faster than you think. Next thing you know, you'll be getting that third and final notice to make your selections. This is something you need to get all the information on as soon as you can. Start by asking now, the more you know. Seasonality in those markets, stocks and bonds, along with so many other indicators and even general market action makes this next task a constant, but now is as good a time as any. Review your investments for rebalancing. This is all of your investments, retirement, non-retirement, employer plans. All of these should be reviewed to see if the recent moves in the market have moved your allocation to a position that no longer matches your risk tolerance. One more timely for today. Revisit your budget. As we end the summer, maybe camps cost more than you thought. Maybe there was more travel. Maybe just you splurged an extra few times. This is a good time to review your monthly budget and how it's holding up. If we've not had this conversation, let's have it. This is key. There are many ways I do this. I recommend many, but here are a few simple ones. First, just watch your cash balances. If you're spending more than you're bringing in, simple, your balances are going to go down. Other way around, spending less, cash balances will go up. I'll talk about that cash in just a moment, a hot topic on the Friday planning videos in the past few months. Regardless, this is a time when some semblance of routine may return to your homes. If so, budgets can also get back in place. When you're reviewing this, as I mentioned before, if you can set aside some money monthly to invest, let's get that money working for you. Monthly investing or dollar cost averaging, it's another thing we've addressed often on these videos. If you don't recall, let me know, we'll discuss. Okay, that's the calendar planning ideas. Let's touch on a few items, some from the last few minutes and some from the last few months. First, as I mentioned, if you have cash building up, please listen on this one. This is not only a recap from past videos, it's also one of those tales from the front line. I've heard this more than once just this week. A recent study by Credit Karma determined that 25% of Americans have high-yield savings accounts. Yes, that means that 75% do not. Yes, 3/4 of the people in the United States are not holding high-yield savings accounts. Now let's give a bunch of these people a break. Not everyone has a savings account at all, and this is something we hope will change for many Americans. For those that do, the statistics as of now show that high-yield savings accounts can earn up to 20 times the interest that a traditional savings account can. As before, I will not name the large banks that many of you know, and many of you have large sums of cash in your savings accounts there. There is an estimated $5 trillion on the sidelines at this time, but without being named, please call your bank. Many of these banks are paying as little as 0.01%. This has been verified in conversations that many of you have had with them. It's time to address this without going into too much detail that will make this too complex, and frankly, I don't want to say anything that will keep this from being approved by compliance. Please review your cash holdings. Interest rates are the talk of the town, from savings accounts to mortgage rates and even car loan rates. Please review what you're earning on your money. You've worked hard for that money. Make it work for you. We've addressed retirement savings, and I read a headline this week that made me stop in my tracks. The headline read, quote, "Stop contributing to IRAs and 401ks," close quote. Now, if you've worked with me for more than 30 seconds or even watched these videos, you know that that's a statement I'm not comfortable with. So I had to read the article, and I'm not sure if ChatGPT wrote the headline just to turn heads or if it was just a splashy editor. This is not an article about being against retirement savings, quite the opposite. We've spoken about the traditional versus Roth IRA and 401k debates many times. this is what the article is about. Ed Slott, a very well-regarded writer and speaker in the space, wrote the article to talk about the use of Roth IRAs and Roth 401ks versus the traditional ones. This is much more than this video or any of the disclaimers can cover, but this is a topic to discuss as we work on your plans. Just a quick primer so we'll know what to discuss. This used to be a simple, pay tax now or pay tax later. Please note I don't give personal tax advice, so though I will discuss these ideas with you and your tax advisor, so please connect us soon. But back to the regularly scheduled program. This used to be a simple pay now or pay later. Details are beyond the scope here, but note that we are not bringing in another variable, not just pay now or pay later, but also do you want to leave your heirs a large tax bill or not? This is a key to consider also since the Secure Act passed. The key topic in the article, and the reason I really don't like articles like this, is one-sided. There's not one size fits all on this, and frankly, for most financial planning questions. This is also something that's not a fix it and forget it. As your situation in life changes, this may change also. So let's keep reviewing that. Finally, I want to address your employer 401k and 403b plans. There's a lot changing in the work we do for and with those plans. Again, this one's beyond the scope of this video, but please ask me how we're able to provide assistance on your employer plans under certain circumstances. Please ask me about it and we'll talk about it. Okay, that's all for today. Another week in the books. As the Dow set records for 13 straight up days, tied with 1987, but it missed the 14th day, a record held by 1897, not long after the Dow was actually established. As always, please be in touch with any questions. There's a lot to talk about, and come back for the Monday market update. However you access it, email from me, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, or even just on the website. Stay in touch and have a great weekend.